conversation on Facebook and Twitter with Good Day Dakota.
Welcome back at 6:43. He started out in Cleveland, Ohio. However, in 1968, he and his family moved to North Dakota, and that's when his father began farming near Minot. And although he doesn't have kids of his own, he's grown a very large family in North Dakota over the years, and he's known as everyone's papa. Here's the story of Dave Pearce and why he's this week someone you should know. Right out of high school, Dave Pearce began a small custom combining business, and that would pay for his college. During the summer of 1977, in his college years at NDSU studying agriculture, Pearce took part in an exchange program to the Soviet Union. That same year, Pearce's father would suffer a heart attack, and that's when his dad sold his farm near Minot and bought land north of Bismarck.
Dad died in a car accident in 1979, and so it was really my mother and I that first put together what was then Papa's greenhouse.
For around 15 years, alongside his mother and sister, Papa's greenhouse would sell tomatoes and cucumbers. In 1983, the pumpkins would pop into the picture, and thus, Papa's Pumpkin Patch was born. And Pearce says his father always wanted him to grow produce on the land that he bought.
You have those conversations about what is the child going to do with their future in their life, you know? And so Dad and I would have these conversations, and it got to the point where it didn't matter where we started. The end would be, well, I think he ought to be a politician, and I think he ought to raise tomatoes in a greenhouse. The other thing was he always hoped that this land would be privately owned but publicly shared.
And that's exactly what Papa's Pumpkin Patch has done. Over the years, the patch has grown to be one of the most beloved pumpkin patches in the U.S. In fact, the Travel Channel has named it one of the top 10 in the United States. Contracting with other farmers around the state, pumpkins are shipped to the farm on pallets. Pearce says they expect around 50 to 60,000 visitors every season looking for the perfect pumpkin.
500,000 pounds, that's a 500,000 pounds, that's a lot of pumpkin.
Pearce and his wife, married later in life, and don't have children of their own. However, he is known as everyone's papa at the patch, whether he's fixing the swings.
One, the blue one, no, I see the blue one's over. Oh, the red one. Yeah. Oh, did it break? It's just stuck up there. Yep, I'll fix it for you instantly here.
Or giving the time.
Hey, sweetie.
What time is it?
I'm gonna look for you.
You can always count on Papa Pearce at the pumpkin patch. And it's no surprise that the core team at Papa's is working year-round to get ready for the next patch season. However, picking pumpkins and providing a pleasant place for kids isn't all Pearce does. In the off-season, Pearce teaches students in Uganda, Africa, how to compost and grow produce through an organization called Roots Africa.
We're teaching them about genetics and new seed, but even their own open pollinated seed. How do we better prepare? How do we do better biological controls with weed control? What can we do to increase and improve the yields?
However, over the years of growing the patch, life would begin to look different for Pearce and his family. In 2014, Pearce's mother would die, and in 2019, his sister Tracy died from cancer, leaving Pearce to continue his family's legacy. However, not by himself. His brother-in-law and his family continue to help the pumpkin patch grow. What's it mean for you, Dave, to be the last Pearce in the family, but to have this sort of lasting legacy live on?
I think, Taylor, all of us yearn to leave a legacy. What really matters is that a person has a purpose. And I think another word for the purpose becomes to leave a legacy, to do something that matters and makes a difference, or that leaves a marker. Or maybe in a more real life way is you just want to create value for others. And I know without question that this place has done that.
Papa Pearce is a popular, pleasant person with a purpose to be a professor of produce and planter of pumpkins. And that's why he's someone you should know. And Papa's Pumpkin Patch is open for the season from noon to 7 every day until October 19th, with the weather permitting. He's an awesome guy. I've been trying to convince him to have an adult night for us.
Right? Wouldn't that be fun? And he seems like a hoot, and that's a whole lot of pumpkin.
It is.
Pumpkin, how my husband says. I love it.
Yes, he's a sweet guy. If you think that there's someone we should know, like Papa Pearce, you can fill out our nomination form on kxnet.com.
Stone, it looks like we have some nice days